Tonight, soliciting tips.
We believe there are people out there who can assist us with our investigation.
Local police expanding their case at LHSC, looking into fraud allegations. Plus, preventative measures. The push for more enforcement for London's vacant buildings after last month's home explosion. And faster diagnostics, accelerated treatments.
A lot more specific, and we can dedicate specific treatment for these babies.
The technological step forward at Children's Hospital.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with new developments in the fraud investigation at London Health Sciences Centre. Provincial police are now working with London investigators, launching a dedicated tip line looking for more information. With more, here's Nick Paparella.
A new special investigations fraud unit from the Ontario Provincial Police has now joined London Police to get to the bottom of an alleged multi-million-dollar fraud case surrounding the London Health Sciences Centre. London Police initially launched the investigation almost 2 years ago in October of 2024, and now the OPP are helping to spearhead it.
As we worked through the investigation, it became very apparent both through size, scope, and duration of the investigation and the nature of the offenses being alleged, that external resources in the form of specialized advisors and investigations was required. The OPP have the Serious Fraud Office, which is designed for that purpose, which have experience in this area. And so we sought a partnership and are very appreciative to the OPP for our ongoing partnership.
A dedicated tip line has been established to support the ongoing investigation. Investigators are encouraging anyone with information related to the investigation to come forward and call the tip line.
The investigation surrounds former administrators, contractors, and alleged kickbacks that are said to be in the millions.
The concerns were brought forward from the hospital that there was financial misappropriation or impropriety amongst the financial dealings at the LHSC. Many of the public disclosures on the civil side of the nature intertwine or deal with the allegations at hand.
Anyone who may be able to assist with the case is being asked to call the tip line at 1-844-677-9413.
We believe there are people out there who can assist us with our investigation, and that's why the tip line was created.
Any investigation should be assumed that there's people who have knowledge or want to provide knowledge, and maybe there's people out there who are waiting to be called and assume they would be called.
London police say they are leaving no stone unturned due to the scope of the investigation.
It is a very large investigation, so both London Police and the OPP have dedicated significant resources to it to give it the best chance of investigation, because we understand the impact to community and the public interest. This is the public administration of funds that affect patient care. It is something that all of us as community members should be very concerned about.
Nick Paparella, CTV News.
The months-long strike at Community Living London is over. This comes after talks between a private mediator began earlier this week. Roughly 600 OPSU workers had been off the job since May 25th. They helped take care of developmentally disabled clients. In a statement, union officials indicate a 3-year deal was reached last night, and workers are expected back on the job Monday.
Good evening. We have a gorgeous evening underway. Temperatures in the mid-20s, a bit cooler areas north of London where temperatures have been hovering in the low 20s through the afternoon. We started the day with a bit of cloud cover. You can see the rain shield associated with the cloud that was in our area this morning. However, sunshine dominating as high pressure builds in and continues to bring us clear conditions. We have a low pressure system, though, that'll be tracking in for the weekend, and the tides will turn. We have rain in the forecast. But Friday looking beautiful, and as we head through the evening, the temperature hovering at about 15 degrees by midnight. It was cool this morning. It'll be cool again as we head into tomorrow morning. We'll see some single-digit overnight low temperatures in parts of the region. Coming up, I'll take you through the weekend forecast, and we'll look at a beautiful Friday on the way.
Thank you, Julie. London police say 2 people were injured in a crash last night involving a motorcycle. This was the scene near Oxford and Clark Road in the city's northeast. Police say 1 person was rushed to hospital with life-threatening injuries. The other patient has non-life-threatening injuries. London police say they're looking for a suspect accused of a stabbing attack. Police say this is 40-year-old Tyler James Little. According to police, officers were called to Dundas Street early Sunday morning for a man with life-threatening injuries. They also say Little is considered dangerous and should not be approached. A woman convicted of burning down a Bayfield restaurant 3 years ago has been sentenced to 12 months in prison. The restaurant was actually owned by her son, which, as Jeff Pickle reports, sparked some complex emotions in the courtroom.
It's Judgment Day for Sonia Larson. After a week delay to allow time for victim impact statements, Justice T.G. McDonald handed down a sentence of 12 months in jail, followed by 2 years probation and 60 hours of community service. In May of this year, 64-year-old Larson pleaded guilty to 1 count of arson for the 2023 fire at the Hub on the Docks restaurant in Bayfield. Court previously heard that on 3 separate occasions over the span of 5 days, Sonia Larson attempted to burn down the restaurant, ultimately successful on the 3rd attempt. No motive was presented to court. Larson's son, Kevin Larson, who owned the restaurant at the time, was never implicated in the fire. In his remarks, Justice McDonald said Sonia Larson's actions were not a spur-of-the-moment idea, stating in all attempts she disabled the alarm, showing planning and carrying out that planning. He added that arson is always a serious offense, saying the fire had an incredibly high level of loss and damage and created a danger to the community.
Most people don't realize that it's not just me. Right, so we had investors that lost, and we had staff that lost, and we're still dealing with some staff issues.
Today, the court heard a victim impact statement from the restaurant owner and son of the perpetrator.
And unfortunately, it creates a lot of problems, even for my sister and her children, and my extended family, who've all been there to support my mom and this situation, regardless.
The damage estimate from the fire was $1.7 million, but Larson says even after receiving insurance compensation, the fire was a serious financial blow.
Most people don't realize is that I still lost, even after the insurance claim, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars in this situation, just due to the carry costs and supplies and chattels and everything else that wasn't covered in the situation.
Despite the impact on his family and business, Larson says he forgives his mother and is hopeful to rebuild the relationship.
She's an amazing grandmother. She is constantly involved, especially in my sister's lives, with her children.
The Hub on the Docks in Bayfield never reopened. Since the fire, 5 other Hub-branded restaurants closed, including the flagship location in Stratford. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Goderich.
The provincial government's new rules for paying bail up front is already under a constitutional challenge. In fact, in at least one instance, an Ontario judge refused to enforce it, ruling the law directly conflicts with federal jurisdiction. John Woodward reports.
When Halton police arrested 9 people in Project Troubadour last month in a human trafficking investigation, they laid 85 charges, their largest bust in 15 years.
A coordinated human trafficking network responsible for exploiting female victims in the commercial sex trade.
One of those arrested sought bail at Milton Superior Court, and it was granted this week with a twist. Rather than demand bail up front, which is what Ontario's new law requires, Justice Scott Cohen required the accused and their sureties to pledge a total of $11,000. Reporting Cohen's reasoning is prohibited by a publication ban. A constitutional challenge to the law filed on Monday argues when a provincial law conflicts with a federal law, in this case the criminal code, the federal law comes out on top.
There's a concept called paramountcy, which basically means that if the federal government has legislated in an area like criminal procedure and bail, the provincial government can't pass a law that seeks to essentially do an end run around what the criminal code requires.
Shakir Rahim with the Canadian Civil Liberties Association is among those challenging the law, saying it interferes with federal jurisdiction and also treats the rich differently than the poor.
It creates 2 tiers of justice. That's the reason why cash bail was abolished as a mandatory or pervasive requirement in Canada. This happened back in 1972.
A Premier's office spokesperson said in a statement the justice system has a responsibility to keep human traffickers behind bars, though a core tenet of Canada's legal system is accused are innocent until proven guilty.
I think that it's likely that other judges will look to that ruling.
The constitutional challenge treated as urgent by the courts. It was filed on Monday, the same day the rules came into effect, and judges will hear it next week. John Woodward, CTV News.
A London city councillor wants to beef up enforcement and penalties for owners of vacant buildings. Her push comes after last month's house explosion on Baseline Road and revelations that the homeowner also owned 2 other vacant houses that were destroyed by fire in recent years. Daryl Newcomb reports.
131 Baseline Road has been cleared and secured with fencing. But back on July 29th, a vacant house on the site exploded, critically injuring a man. However, neighbors continue to worry about the vacant lot next door with its waist-high weeds and homeless encampment.
We see them night and day in here, sleeping in here with drug use. It's become an unsafe area, and the city shouldn't have to clean it up. It should be up to the property owner to take care of all this mess.
Councillor Skylar Frank will bring forward a motion next month requesting a staff report about how London can beef up its bylaws and enforcement regarding high-risk vacant homes.
I want to make sure that, those 100 to 150 homes are as secure as possible and that we don't see a repeat of what happened on Baseline.
129 and 131 Baseline Road West were rezoned several years ago for an apartment building. But owner Asif Sheikh told CTV News last month that economic conditions haven't been conducive to starting construction. The empty lot at 129 West used to have a house on it, but it was demolished after this garage fire on April 25, 2024. And CTV News has confirmed with Sheikh that he also owned this vacant house on a development property at 1310 Adelaide Street North that was destroyed by fire in April 2021. By telephone, he declined to be interviewed for this story, but said 131 Baseline had only been vacant about a month before the explosion. And regarding Frank's political push for tougher enforcement, he, quote, supports the motion in principle, but believes the actual problem is the mental health, drugs, and homelessness crisis. London police confirmed that the incident has not been deemed criminal in nature. However, they emphasize that their investigation continues. Frank wants city staff to report back about potentially requiring better fencing, plywood, and screws to secure vacant buildings, and to ensure that the fire department, police service, and bylaw enforcement have a single list of all high-risk vacancy buildings.
We do have fines that are issued through bylaw, but I would like to explore if the fire department is able to do it as well.
Her motion also asks about consulting with London Hydro and Enbridge about potentially shutting off natural gas and electricity to high-risk vacant buildings.
I'm hopeful that we can explore opportunities for municipal-led disconnections if we know that there is a building and the landlord's not doing their due diligence.
Frank's motion will be considered by a council committee on September 8th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Staff at London's Children's Hospital say they'll soon be able to diagnose faster and accelerate treatments based on a single drop of blood. Jerry Dewan has more on the technological step forward.
Say hi, everyone.
It's expected little Quinn Johnson will be heading home from hospital next week, but it's been a long stay in the neonatal intensive care unit at Children's Hospital. Quinn's due date was July 3rd. She arrived in this world on March 26th, weighing just 500 grams. Her dad says there's no preparing for a premature birth.
Every day you learn something new that you don't know before, and you just got to trust people here.
One of the hardest parts was the constant blood draws to track her progress. Those blood draws would sometimes have to be followed with a blood transfusion.
For Quinn, it was hard to actually take blood on her because she was so small. And so trying to minimize the number of attempts at that is great. But also she has such a little amount of blood in her system. You don't want to be taking extra amounts if you don't have to.
Because her veins were so tiny, it sometimes required 6 or 7 attempts for a blood draw.
She does have some battle wounds and battle scars from all those attempts.
This new lab in the Children's Health Research Institute could dramatically reduce those scars for babies in the future. It's the first pediatric laboratory certified to use O-Link technology.
By using 1 drop of blood and be able to test 5,000 proteins, that allows us to look at the whole body and be able to tell us, how the baby is progressing.
Not only will there be fewer jabs, but the diagnostic capabilities are greatly improved and results are returned almost immediately.
This will allow us to develop new diagnostic tests that will be a lot more specific, and we can dedicate specific treatment for these babies. We call precision medicine.
The O-Link system was purchased with funds from the Children's Health Foundation. At this time, O-Link can only be used for research purposes, and it could take years before it's cleared for use in clinical settings. But Dr. Hahn says even as a research tool, it will save the hospital significant costs from having to send samples out of country for analysis. Jerry DeWan, CTV News.
Officials in Saugeen Shores have converted several traffic control boxes into works of art. Many murals have been added to 8 of the boxes in Port Elgin and Southampton, created by 3 local artists. Local officials say the installations were sponsored in part by Spruce the Bruce, a community development program, and they were all unveiled earlier this month. School board officials have reportedly returned to the bargaining table with school bus operators in Grey Bruce, trying to avoid potential job action when the new school year gets underway. Parents were notified earlier this week there may be school bus disruptions in September, impacting close to 16,000 students. School bus company officials had issued a deadline for Friday to get a deal, otherwise putting September bus service in jeopardy. Provincial government officials say they've increased transportation funding in Grey Bruce with the expectation a deal can get done. Leaders on the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation say they want all provincial and federally owned land on the Bruce Peninsula returned. A 2021 court decision found the federal government breached an 1836 treaty to protect the Bruce Peninsula for use by Saugeen Ojibwe Nation members. Saugeen leaders wanted $80 billion in compensation and all relevant Crown lands returned, including Bruce Peninsula National Park. Federal government officials have pushed back, saying the land in question should not be considered compensation in this case. A hearing is scheduled for October to decide if the land can be included as compensation for breaching the 1836 treaty. We're less than 24 hours from Airshow London taking off, and last-minute preparations are underway. Leading the way, one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world. With more, here's Lauren Stallone.
The 11th annual Airshow London kicks off this Friday with some of the world's top pilots touching down in the Forest City.
I was first inspired to aviation when I was 16 years old, watching the F-22 demonstration in a small town of St. Cloud, Minnesota. After that, I chased all my ratings to become an Air Force fighter pilot and was fortunate enough to become an F-22 pilot.
Nick Letourneau, also known as Laz, is the demo pilot of the United States Air Force F-22 Raptor.
The F-22 is the world's premier air dominance 5th-generation fighter. It was the first of its type in the world. And it's about call it 3-year process from the time you start flying airplanes in order to get in the cockpit of an F-22. From there, it's about 7 months of training at our formal training unit at Langley Air Force Base.
Laz says he's excited to be back in London to perform at the air show.
And it really goes back to that start for me, the spark for aviation that got me into flying in the first place. Being able to come up to London and hopefully share that same spark with all the kids and adults alike to not just maybe go into aviation, but also chase after something that they're passionate about. And I can't think of a better place to come than London to do that.
Located at London International Airport, the air show features air displays, ground displays, and local vendors.
You're going to see loud, you're going to see fast, you're going to see big, you're going to see small. We've got it all covered.
Organizers say the show takes about 2 years to plan.
It's a lot of work and a lot of prep, but as you can see, the reward is really amazing when it finally gets here.
Visitors can explore over 20 aircraft on the tarmac and get to know pilots like Laz.
I'm just excited to be back up here for both the local fair as well as the people.
You can join CTV live from London International Airport for the Airshow London SkyDrive 2026 pre-show on Friday, August 21st from 2:30 to 3. Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
Still ahead, nearly there, the latest from Washington and ongoing trade negotiations. Plus, a sign of good faith, the Prime Minister requesting U.S. alcohol go back on Canadian shelves.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvlondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. Canadian trade representatives say a deal with the Americans is very close. They were back at the negotiating table in Washington today with a delayed tariff deadline now a little more than 24 hours away. With the latest, here's Mike LeCouture.
After returning from Ottawa early this morning, Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Canadian negotiators held their longest session of talks with their American counterparts thus far.
How close are we?
The meeting lasted 3 hours and included the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, Marc-André Blanchard, while Canada's ambassador to the U.S., Mark Wiseman, was only in there for the first hour of the discussions. LeBlanc said little at the conclusion of the conversation, but he tried to reassure Canadians as the latest deadline is just over 24 hours away.
Canadians expect us to get a deal that's in the economic interest of Canada and Canadian workers. We're very close. We continue to make progress, and we're going to stay here and do the work that's necessary until we get to that point.
The three sources tell CTV News that there are reductions in Section 232 tariffs on the table as part of the agreement, but it's unclear how far those levies would go down. They would affect industries like steel, aluminum, and autos. We're also hearing from the premiers who were briefed by the Prime Minister about the talks. One of the concessions Canada has put on the table is returning American alcohol to store shelves. While many premiers seem supportive, not all are happy with Canada's concessions.
He's confident that they will reach an agreement, and as part of this agreement, he asked all of the provinces, as a sign of good faith, would we put U.S. liquor back on our shelves, and we all agreed.
They gave us some details, and other stuff they said they're still nailing down. So he was, I wouldn't say that he was begging us, but what is a step before begging? I think we should fight. I think we've got the upper hand. They're back on their heels right now. They're coming to us for a deal. And so I think we should fight.
It's unclear if more meetings have been planned for Friday, but as Minister LeBlanc said as he left the meeting, they will continue to have more negotiations until they get a deal that's good for Canadians. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Washington.
As mentioned, that Prime Minister request to put American alcohol back on store shelves being framed as a sign of good faith, and it would resolve a major sticking point in negotiations while the two sides finalize this apparent agreement. With more on the reaction, here's Heather Wright.
For nearly 18 months, it's been impossible to buy American alcohol at Ontario liquor stores. And while that could soon change as part of a trade agreement with the United States, it might not change what people put in their carts.
I buy Canadian. I don't buy American.
Last year, every Canadian province pulled American booze from store shelves in response to tariffs imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump. Those bans remain in place everywhere except Alberta and Saskatchewan. But as part of trade negotiations, Prime Minister Mark Carney has asked the provinces to resume selling American alcohol as a sign of good faith. Manitoba's premier says his province will oblige as part of a trade deal, but he has advice for consumers.
Leave it there. If we put the booze back on the shelves, don't buy it, let it sit.
It's advice many Canadians seem prepared to follow.
Well, I won't be buying American booze at all.
If they put it, we don't have to buy it.
Others, though, more willing to begin purchasing American alcohol again.
Because they have good wines.
If they have a good bourbon, why not?
More than $1 trillion worth of trade is typically done between the U.S. and Canada every year. And while liquor makes up a fraction of that, experts say this ban has been a popular and effective response.
In the total terms of the trade deal, this is small beer, but it's symbolically significant. This has more leverage than it deserves to have. And so there's no question that for a deal to be done, this has to be given up.
And while a new poll done by Polaris shows the booze ban is supported by about 80% of Canadians in the provinces where it is currently in place, about half of Canadians would support removing the ban as part of a trade deal. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Julie's on the desk with me now, and it turned into a beautiful day here in London. Lots of sunshine, and I know it feels like we probably should be making the most of this because the weekend isn't looking quite this good.
Yeah, a big weather system comes in on the weekend, expecting some steady rain, the possibility of some thunderstorms, but getting there, we have high pressure, and today was gorgeous. Low humidity. Temperature this afternoon, 26 degrees, right where we should be for this time of year. It was cool this morning, and we'll have another cooler morning heading into tomorrow. Temperatures across the area in the low 20s. As we head through Huron, Perth, Grey Bruce, and cool along that lakeshore, and temperature 24 degrees in London. High pressure continues to drift over the Great Lakes, but our focus will shift to the low pressure system developing across the southern prairies. The cloud shield and rain expected to intensify as it drops into the Great Lakes on a Saturday. So we're going to get through tonight with clear conditions and an absolutely spectacular Friday on the way. And then this low pressure area will be dropping toward the lower Great Lakes with periods of rainfall. As we look across the country tonight, still major air quality issues in place in through central and southern areas of British Columbia, and that air quality slowly seeping towards Alberta. Northwestern Ontario on the cool side, where the temperature just 16 degrees in Thunder Bay. And then as we move across southern Ontario, you can see temperatures close to where we should be for this time of year. Here are the air quality advisories that are in effect, and again, air quality is poor, of course, due to forest fire smoke. Temperatures overnight, we'll see some single-digit lows. Mount Forest, KW, 9 degrees overnight. In London, 11, and near the shoreline of Lake Huron and Erie, between 14 and 15 degrees. So our gorgeous day on Friday will be replaced by cloud cover heading into Saturday. The rain first thing Saturday morning, could see some showers develop, and then we'll see a bit of a lull in the action before rain intensifies into the afternoon. Periods of rain expected Saturday evening, and the rain looks to be steady as we head through the later part of the day. Possibility of some thunderstorms heading into Saturday evening and Saturday night, and showers will be lingering into Sunday. The other thing you're going to notice this weekend is the temperature is going to drop off on Sunday, so cooler conditions expected. Your Friday afternoon, 26 degrees, mainly sunny through the better part of the day. We will see a little bit of cloud cover come in a Friday evening, but expecting gorgeous conditions and a beautiful sunset. Saturday, rain, 24 degrees. I showed you the showers in the morning, and then periods of rain once again developing into the afternoon. On Sunday, the chance for showers will linger early in the day, but by the afternoon, the probability starts to drop. So by Saturday, late afternoon into the evening, we're down to about a 40% chance. So the rain coverage and intensity will wind down. On Monday, just a chance for showers at 40%. Temperature, again, a bit cooler than we should be for this time of year, Sunday into Monday. And then we're back up to 24 degrees Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and back into a nice mix of sun and cloud. Midwestern Ontario, a beautiful day for you tomorrow. Wall-to-wall sunshine, high pressure dominating over the Great Lakes, and then the weekend will feature that low pressure system coming in with some steady rain. Expecting a band of rain to come through in the morning, and then a bit of a lull, but periods of rain and becoming quite steady late afternoon into the evening. Winding down, heading into Sunday, and temperatures also dropping down, 17 to 18 degrees, so cooler conditions. We're back into a mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday, and daytime highs as we head into early next week on the cooler side of what's normal for this time of year. Carlyle?
Thanks very much, Julie. And a programming note for tomorrow, we'll have the Airshow London SkyDrive pre-show streaming live on our website, ctvnewslondon.ca. Coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. Still ahead, a warning to vendors from Oktoberfest organizers. Details on the scammers sending out fake invoices.
Mark your calendars for Thursday, July 15th. Country Night is officially coming back to Rock the Park, and we cannot wait. We're going to see Hardy, we're going to see Zach John King, and Lakeview.
Going to be a great night. Tickets go on sale tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. For more details, head to purecountry93.ca.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. The fan-favorite production, Beetlejuice the Musical, is set to take over the Siskins The Law Firm stage at Candlelight Place from September 11th to 13th. Enter now at ctvlondon.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of floor tickets to see the show.
Canada's transport regulator says WestJet is imposing an undue barrier on travelers living with disabilities by effectively barring some power wheelchairs from planes. According to the Canadian Transportation Agency, WestJet must remove a 300-pound weight cap on mobility aids within the next year. Agents say WestJet should use spreader plates to better distribute wheelchair weight in the cargo hold and arrange alternate travel with other airlines until then. The case was brought by a former federal minister for transport after he was prevented from flying with his custom wheelchair. Oktoberfest organizers in Kitchener-Waterloo are sending out a warning to potential vendors. They say scammers are trying to con small businesses with phony invitations, soliciting bogus payments. With more, here's Alexandra Hollick.
For nearly 60 years, the spirit of Gemütlichkeit has descended on downtown Kitchener. Carlyle Square transforms into Willkommenplatz, welcoming thousands of people and dozens of vendors. But in the lead up to this year's celebrations, organizers of the Kitchener-Waterloo Oktoberfest are tapping in with a word of caution.
Unfortunately, we have had some people that have fallen prey to the scams and paid money to be a part of our vendor market, which it wasn't us at all.
Executive Director Tracy Van Kelsbeek says she's received more than a dozen emails and phone calls just this week from concerned business owners targeted in a vendor scam.
They've been going out with emails, setting up fraudulent Facebook and Instagram pages, and contacting people.
They've even impersonated Van Kelsbeek herself, inviting people to pay to secure a spot in the square.
It's super sad because you think about the vendors are generally small businesses. They don't have a lot of extra money to be putting out there. They want to be part of these community events, and then people are preying on that.
It looked very legit.
Christine Beam is a sales rep for a spice company. She says she found a Facebook ad looking for vendors and thought she had applied to sell products at Oktoberfest.
I filled it out, got an email back saying that I was accepted. And then they wanted $350 to join it as a vendor.
Beam sent in the money, but she says she became suspicious when they started asking about insurance. In the same day, she got caught in a second scam with a similar application process. In total, she's out more than $700.
So that's a lot of product I have to sell just to make up that money.
Van Kelsbeek says she isn't sure how many vendors were targeted or how much money has been lost, but she urges business owners to check their inboxes for signs of a scam.
Do not provide any credit card information. Do not provide any personal information until you do that follow-up with us. Any time that you would get an invoice from us, it would definitely come from an oktoberfest.ca email too. So be very, very wary.
Oktoberfest organizers tell us they have reported the scam to Waterloo Regional Police and the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. And they're asking anyone who may have received a suspicious email to contact the KW Oktoberfest team directly. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Kitchener.
A class action lawsuit has been filed in Quebec's Superior Court over cans of maple syrup reportedly diluted with cane sugar. The plaintiff originally filed an application for a class action suit in April, naming a Quebec syrup producer. Several major grocery chains have now been named in the lawsuit as well, including Loblaw, Metro, and Sobeys. The filing claims they all betrayed customer trust. The suit is seeking refunds and $100 in punitive damages for each class member. Canada's main stock index edged lower today while American markets lost ground and geopolitical concerns sent oil prices higher. The TSX lost 36 points. In New York, the Dow dropped 704. The Nasdaq fell 264. The Canadian dollar up a fifth of a cent today. On commodity markets, gold gained $26 an ounce. Oil added $2.44 a barrel. Later on CTV News, the first sign of fall, we head to Toronto for a sneak preview of this year's CNE.
It's Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben in the morning.
Three awesome people that want to start your day or finish your overnight shift.
You'll laugh, you'll text, you'll call, you'll scratch your head, and maybe even be Backstage Ben. Weekday mornings from 5:30 to 10.
Listen live on the iHeartRadio app or at 97.5 Virgin Radio.
Police in British Columbia are reporting a break in a cold case looking for a man missing from Vancouver for more than 30 years. It's tied to an unidentified man who suffered a stroke in Amsterdam, who police think could be this missing person. Andrew Johnson reports.
This is the man known as Lucky. He spends his days in a nursing home ever since he suffered a stroke on the streets of Amsterdam 3 years ago. He woke up in the hospital diagnosed with aphasia, a language disorder that left him unable to speak. His identity, say Dutch investigators, a mystery.
Geen pasjes, geen niks. De politie staat voor een raadsel. Hoe achterhaal je de identiteit van iemand die niet kan vertellen wie hij is?
Dutch police went looking for information, people who knew Lucky, and began to piece together his past.
Schat helemaal rijk zijn, maar tegelijkertijd zwierf door de straat in Amsterdam.
He was known in the local Buddhist community and regularly frequented a nearby market and restaurants. Lucky was also known by several other names, including Chris the Canadian. Still stumped, Dutch investigators posted the story to social media, and someone online made this connection. Lucky looks a lot like Vancouver missing man John Russell Kenny. He lost contact with his family 33 years ago and would now be 67.
They definitely look similar, but again, 30 years can do a lot to a person.
The Vancouver Police Missing Person Unit is now collaborating with their counterparts in the Netherlands and Interpol.
This is definitely a unique experience, especially it's on the international platform, so we are always excited to help. And if this does in fact be him, would be exciting news.
Vancouver police have provided fingerprints that will now be compared with Lucky's to see if they're a match. On VPD's cold case website, Kenny is described as someone who suffered from mental health issues and was transient in nature. Dutch police have no idea how he may have managed to live under the radar in Amsterdam for decades. Hopefully they may have some answers soon. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Canadian border agents say they've seized $6.6 million worth of illegal nicotine products at the Blue Water Bridge. They say on August 7th, border guards located almost $3 million worth of vapes in a commercial truck. Then on August 10th, they say they found almost 400,000 kilograms of nicotine pouches in 2 separate trucks. No information on any potential arrests or charges has been released. A new pilot project has launched in Stratford, lowering the speed limit to 40 kilometers an hour in some residential neighborhoods. New signs have been put up, but as Heather Centerin reports, locals are skeptical when it comes to their real impact.
Signs have gone up in parts of Stratford, forcing drivers to go 40 kilometers an hour in the areas bordered by Huron Street, Mornington Street, McCarthy Road, and Olone Avenue.
One of the more common frustrations or complaints that we get from residents is the elevated speeds they see throughout the city.
The city of Stratford chose these residential areas because of the amount of foot traffic it sees.
Our recreation and agriplex center are here, as well as some other community benefits like our soccer pitch, our volleyball courts, a whole bunch of pedestrian traffic that generally happens in this area. It's a desired area to seek those reduced speeds.
Some residents say the pilot project should be expanded.
There's too many streets that are having an issue with speed.
Ingrid Bell has lived in the area for 4 decades and says she's been lobbying for traffic calming measures for years.
It looks like the signage is all that we're going to get yet again.
She says the signs aren't enough, and she wishes the provincial government would bring back speed enforcement cameras.
If you hit people in the pocketbook, you get their attention. And if you hit it often enough, they will change their behavior. And as it was shown, once the speed cameras were removed from areas that previously had them, speeds increased.
If not speed cameras, she says there are other options.
Physical deterrence, whether they be bump outs or whether they be speed bumps, would be the most immediate and most cost-effective one for right now.
The city says it is listening to all feedback and is open to implementing more measures down the road.
The intent of this pilot is it's the beginning of the consideration to a much larger speed enforcement program if it's successful.
Traffic studies will continue in the area, with the findings of this pilot project going to council in the fall of 2027. Heather Centerin, CTV News, Stratford.
Hey everyone, it's Luke and Lauren, and it's time now for your London list. Luke, what do we got going on this weekend?
Lots of stuff happening in London this weekend. We'll start off with the 67th annual Middlesex Beef Barbecue that returns to Poplar Hill Park. It's happening tonight as we speak, a night of fun for the whole family with entertainment by Beechwood. Delicious barbecued beef, baked potatoes, corn on the cob, cabbage salad, buns, and my favorite, butter tarts.
Oh, delicious.
Yes, so you can get info and tickets in the event section at 97.5 virginradio.ca. And we'll move on to Daisy Saloon. Have you heard of this place that's going to be opening up?
I have, yeah.
So it's going in the old banquet bar. There's a new country bar that's going to be opening in late August, and they're actually they're doing a hiring fair this weekend. So if you're looking for a new job, this would be great for students who are coming back for post-secondary, maybe looking for some money to supplement going to school. So you have the chance to be a part of their team. And they're going to have a job fair this weekend. It's happening the 21st, the 22nd, and the 23rd at Park Hotel on Pall Mall Street here in London. So all positions are open. If you're looking to be a bartender, front of house, back of house, they've got everything for you.
That's great. And what else we got going on? Anything else for food lovers this weekend?
Taco Fest is happening.
Yum.
That's at Dundas Place. Yes. So it's everything from diversity and creativity of tacos, showcasing the flavors from Mexico alongside live entertainment and family-friendly fun. It's a festival for everybody. So if you're looking to take that in, it's beginning this Friday. Another thing that's happening this Friday is the Air Show.
Yes.
And we're bringing you the pre-show here on CTV's website.
That's right.
CTVNewsLondon.ca if you want to check that out. It starts at 2:30. You can actually take in the whole show. There's 3 ways to take it in. There's the pre-show that you can watch with our live stream. We're going to be broadcasting live there, so Pure Country 93 and Virgin Radio, broadcasting from 2 to 7. And, of course, you can go check it out in person, too.
And it's been pretty hot. There is something going on to beat that heat.
Listen, I think a lot of people are Septembering my August, and I'm not having it. I've had enough of this. So if you are looking to beat the heat, there's still a lot of summer left. Beat the Heat Tuesdays going on at East Park here in London, eastparklondon.com to go check out some discounted prices.
All right, I love that. No talk of Thanksgiving. Let's focus on the summer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
I agree.
Yes.
Is that it? We got anything
That's everything.
else?
That's
all right,
yeah.
Perfect. Well, there's a lot going on this weekend. That's your London list. We'll see you next week.
Tomorrow on CTV News, deadline day for municipal candidates. The election field will be locked in Friday. The final day candidates can file their nomination papers. That's tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
Thank you so much, John, for sending this photograph in. Meet Miss Sadie. She's enjoying some vacation time at the lake. Skies will be clear overnight and lots of sunshine for your Friday, but showers invade over the weekend. And temperatures on the cool side as we hit Sunday. We'll barely hit that 20-degree mark, and cloudy conditions hang into Monday.
Ukrainian officials say a Russian missile and drone attack killed at least 16 people in the Kyiv region. The overnight strikes lasted for hours, injuring dozens of people as well, as air raid warnings blared until after dawn. More than 38,000 people sheltered in Kyiv's subway stations overnight. Ukraine's president called it a massive attack intended to do as much damage as possible to civilian infrastructure, with 28 locations reportedly hit. President Donald Trump is now warning of economic warfare against Iran. Trump posted on social media saying, in part, "No one has given the Islamic Republic of Iran a greater opportunity to make a deal than me. Tragically for them, they have failed to take it. Therefore, today, I am announcing the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country. This will be economic warfare and isolation on an unprecedented scale." Trump also warned there could be consequences for any nation that helps Iran. Meanwhile, oil prices climbed more than 2% after Trump's threat amid the ongoing blockage at the Strait of Hormuz, putting pressure on global fuel supplies. Shares in the American biotech company Moderna are soaring after positive trial results for a new experimental cancer vaccine targeting melanoma. It's a joint development operation with Merck relying on mRNA technology. Company officials say the shots are based on each individual patient's tumor, designed to teach the immune system to recognize the unique genetic fingerprint of their cancer. They say when paired with existing immunotherapy, the new vaccine reduced the risk of the cancer returning or spreading further. The full study results will reportedly be shared at an upcoming international medical meeting, but there's no timeline for when officials would seek regulatory approval in the States. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan are moving back to the United Kingdom. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are reportedly relocating to a residence outside the British capital later this month. They moved to the United States in 2020 after stepping back from royal duties. King Charles was reportedly informed of the impending move this past weekend. He has previously stated there will be no change to their status as non-working royal family members. Finally tonight, the Canadian National Exhibition gets underway this weekend in Toronto with a look at some of this year's main attractions, including a local astronauts connection. Here's Jessica Smith.
It's an end of summer staple. The Canadian National Exhibition is about to begin, celebrating 147 years of rides, food, and fun.
You know what I love? This is Canada's Fair, and everywhere I go, people say I had my first job at the X, or I was on my first date on the X, or, you know, this is where we come multi-generationally to celebrate our family, our friends coming together.
It all begins Friday with a special guest at opening ceremonies who is out of this world.
We're ready to have our best year yet. You know, we got Jeremy Hansen coming on Friday to open up really the most incredible space exhibit that's ever been in Canada.
The C&E experience lets you explore outer space from Earth with a large-scale interactive interstellar exhibition. Another big draw, the wonderful and wacky food items, like the popcorn falafel bowl, deep-fried pizza slices, mouth-watering barbecue, and so much more.
Showcasing the carnival cone. So it's our award-winning mac and cheese, which is made into an ice cream ball, right? And so what we did was we finished it off in the fryer. We have our sweet candy yams in the bottom. And we also drizzle some of our award-winning mac and cheese sauce on top.
There's a star-studded musical lineup along with dance and acrobatic performances.
The first weekend, we've got Lupe Fiasco, we've got Lights and Shaggy. We've got, obviously, the things you expect, like Super Dogs and the skating show.
The perfect sign-off from a busy summer in the city.
All the family-friendly fun and delicious food begins this Friday and runs all the way through to September 7th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
And that's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.